Hello everyone, welcome to M Electrical YouTube channel. I hope you all are good and safe. Today in this video we will discuss about the practical transformer and we will analyze every point regarding this topic. Every concept on this topic will be cleared, so try to concentrate on the words whatever I am going to tell you now. In the previous video, we have discussed about the ideal transformer and its different properties, EMF equation and some important formulas. If you have not seen this video, you can watch it by clicking the link in the I button above. Now onwards, we will discuss about the practical transformer. So, all the assumptions we discussed in the previous video will be invalid here. That's why ideal transformer is also called as imaginary transformer. Although these properties are not true, but the performance of practical transformer is close to the ideal one. Let's discuss the each and every point so we can get the clear idea. The first point we discussed in the properties of ideal transformer is core should possess infinite permeability. Mu or permeability is the property of core material. This first property is invalid in case of practical transformer because in practical transformer there must be some leakage flux which is phi L1 and phi L2. So all the flux set up by the primary will not link the secondary windings, although maximum percentage of flux will link the secondary, but some losses of flux like phi L1 and phi L2 will also be there. The second point we discussed is core losses should be zero. This point is also invalid because the core loss or iron loss consists of hysteresis and eddy current loss, which are always present in the ferromagnetic core of the transformer. As the transformer is being operated by the AC supply voltage, here you can see Vs is the supply voltage. In reality, we cannot make this loss as zero, only we can minimize this. The hysteresis loss can be minimized by using the CRGO, that is cold rolled grain oriented steel, which is a high grade steel when we are making the transformer magnetic core. Similarly, we can minimize the eddy current loss by using the laminations of the core. Laminations mean thin laminations. The laminations of the core should be very thin, so we can minimize the eddy current losses in transformer core. See the lamination video in detail, link given in the I button. The third assumption of ideal transformer is magnetic path should possess linearity property. As well, this point is also invalid in case of practical transformer because when we draw a BH curve, we get the curve as nonlinear. Here you can see. Here B represents the magnetic flux density, which is equal to flux by area. We know magnetic flux density equal to flux by area divided by area. That's why its unit is Weber per meter square, because flux unit is Weber and area is meter square, so Weber per meter square or Tesla we can tell it. And H represent magnetic field intensity. We already know that H equal to Ni divided by L. We have discussed this formula in Ampere's law, which you will find in the working principle of transformer video. As H equal to Ni divided by L, so the unit will be, unit is ampere turn, Ni number of turn multiplied by current, that so ampere turn divided by L is length, so its unit will be meter. So unit of H will be ampere turn divided by meter. Now we will try to understand about this magnetization curve. First, B will increase H as H will increase parallelly. After a certain point, flux will be saturated, so it will not increase anymore. Curve will be bent like this. You can see here, it's clear. Then we will try to decrease the value of H. Then you can see when the H value is coming to be 0, then B, that is flux density, is cutting the y-axis, that is positive y-axis, at some point. That means when H is becoming 0, then also there is some flux. This amount of flux is called residue flux. On B axis, this magnitude of B is called residual magnetic flux density, which is denoted here by B suffix R. So, to bring the B value to 0, we have to add some coercive force in the negative direction. That means we will add some force. That means we will decrease the value of B to 0 by putting external force. Forcefully we will decrease the value. So the coercive force in the negative direction we will apply, that is negative flux intensity or negative MMF we have to apply. Then the B value will be 0 or the flux will be totally removed. Here the coercive force is denoted by F suffix C. Here you can see that to remove the flux totally, we have given this amount of H in the negative direction. Again, if we increase the H value in the negative direction, then B will also be decreased up to a certain value. After this point, if we try to decrease the H value, again the B will be saturated. So B will not decrease further. It will be bent like this. Again, we will increase the value of H in the positive direction. Then what will happen? See, if we increase the H value in the positive direction, then B curve will cut the negative y-axis, exhibiting the hysteresis. Just like positive y-axis, it will cut also the negative y-axis, which will exhibit the hysteresis. Again, to make the B 0 or to remove the flux, we have to apply some positive H. Previously we applied negative H. Now we will apply some positive H. Then at last it will meet this point. This is the hysteresis curve and this loop is called BH loop. So from here it is clear that the MMF, which is proportional to magnetic field intensity H, is not linearly changing with the flux density B. So it is a nonlinear curve. That means our assumption for ideal transformer, which we assume that the magnetization curve should be linear, so in case of practical transformer it is false. We have seen the magnetization curve is being nonlinear. Now, if we see the fourth point, the winding resistance should be 0. This is also invalid in practical transformer because in general we know that if there is a conductor like winding, then that winding must have the property of inductance and resistance. Here we will assume the primary winding resistance as small r1 and the secondary winding resistance as small r2. The voltage drop across any resistance is IR. We already know IR means the current flowing through that resistance multiplied by value of that resistance. So voltage drop will be IR. The current flowing through I will always be in same phase with this voltage drop IR. We will see this phenomena in the phasor diagram just in the next video. As the core and copper both type of losses are present in practical transformer, this why practical transformer never have the efficiency of 100%, but close to it. It's around 95 to 98 generally we see. As these core and copper losses are not present in ideal transformer, that's why ideal transformer has efficiency 100%. But it's not in case of practical transformer. This is up to today's video. Watch the full lecture series one by one to get a full subject knowledge. I hope your concept is clear now. Please inform us by doing a comment whether your doubt is clear or not. You can re-watch this video for more clarity. Till, if you have any doubt regarding this topic or any other topic related to electrical engineering, then drop your doubt in the comment section below. Remember, one like, one inspiration. If you have learned something new in this video, then hit the like button and subscribe the channel. You can contact with us. Every detail is given in the description section. You can put your doubt over there also. Thank you for listening me today. We will meet soon with a new interesting topic. Till then, take care, be safe, goodbye.